What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. My name's Micah, and today we're going to take a look at the Beretta APX striker-fired handgun. This is a superior pistol at an amazing price point, and I am absolutely in love with this gun, guys. We're going to go over the history, the different versions of this gun, the features, the specs, what it's good for, why it was made, if I think you should buy it, and of course at the end of the video we're going to go out and shoot it and see how it does. So, without further ado, let's dive right in, guys. And before we get too far along in the video, I'll definitely show you that the gun is unloaded. You can see there's nothing in our magazine. Our chamber is clear, everything is safe and good to go. Safety's first, guys. That's extremely important, and we always need to be on top of that. So this gun comes in a few different versions. Right here we do have the full-size model. There is also the Centurion edition, so that's going to be kind of a mid to compact size, a little bit shorter. And then there's the carry version as well, so that will be a super compact, very small, very concealable, but the full size is what we have here today. All the mechanics of these different models will be virtually the same, so we will review the full size one here in this video. So this is Beretta's first polymer framed striker fired pistol. It was made for the XM17 competition. If you're not familiar with that, it is a competition that the US Armed Forces holds, and all your different gun manufacturers will get together and they submit their pistols to be the next service pistol of the United States military. So this competition went down in 2017. Beretta held the previous contract with their M9 pistol, the 92, and that was in service from 1985 until 2017. So the US military wanted to go with a more updated, modern pistol design, and so they held the competition, and Beretta built this gun from the ground up for that competition to try and get another military contract with the United States. Beretta was not trying to copy, clone, or mimic any other striker-fired guns. They built this completely from the ground up to try and make it the most reliable, practical, best striker-fired pistol of all time. I think they nailed that on the head, and I do believe that this is the best polymer frame striker-fired gun on the market that you can buy today. Hands down, and let me show you why. I will say the winner of that competition was the SIG P320. It was not this gun, and there can be a variety of reasons for that. It's not just that the SIG is a better gun, which I believe that it is not, but each of these different manufacturers will pitch their price, what they want for the gun, to the military. That's a factor in it as well. And SIG has been making striker-fired guns for longer, so has Glock, and I think that was a factor in the military's decision as well. They wanted to get a striker-fired gun that had been around for a little longer, that had kind of a reliable track record, whereas this was brand new, and so it wasn't really time-tested. Even though they torture test them and put thousands of rounds through them, I think that gave them more peace of mind knowing that the SIG had been out longer. But I think this is hands down a better gun than the SIG. I think the US military made a huge mistake by that. And I will note that this gun is modular, so what I mean by that is you can see the serial number there is on the trigger assembly that's inside of here. You can kind of see that number there. So the serial number's not on the barrel of the slide, it's not on the polymer lower. You can literally take that trigger assembly out and put that in, say, the Centurion's smaller polymer frame, get the barrel, get the slide for that, and then voila, you have the Centurion, and you didn't have to buy a new gun, you just got those three parts. So if you ever want to switch out stuff, give your pistol a smaller frame, smaller barrel, anything like that, or vice versa, go up to the full size if you didn't have that at first. It's totally an option. I love this gun for that. So, and then I'll just give you a few basic specs of the gun quick. The overall length of the gun is going to be 7.6 inches. It is 5.6 inches high. The barrel length is going to be 4¼ inches long. The trigger pull on this is going to be 6 pounds, and then the total weight of this gun is 28 ounces. And the overall width is 1.3 inches wide. So very comparable to all of your different full-size duty pistols out there. So they're right in the same ballpark with everybody else as far as dimension, size, weight, things like that. And I suppose we'll just start walking around the gun here and I will show you what makes this gun so good. So we'll just start with the sights here. It's kind of a classic 3-dot sight. So the sights are going to be metal, front and rear. They don't have any adjustment up and down, but you can adjust them side to side if you need to. Mine was perfectly sighted in, absolutely spot on from the factory. So I haven't done any adjusting, but it is there if you need to for windage, or if it wasn't quite spot on from the factory, you can adjust it there. I will say that the front sight, this front white dot on there, is going to be larger than the 2 dots on the rear. So that is just gonna help you really find that front dot and line up your sights very well. I've never had a gun where the front sight had a noticeably larger dot than the rears, and it's a great idea. I don't know why nobody else has thought of that, but awesome job, Beretta. It's all in the details, and you will see they nailed the details on this gun, and that's what's gonna set it apart. Instantly looking at this gun, it looks different than all the rest, and that can be attributed to the slide serrations on this gun. They're big, they're wide, and they cover the whole slide from front to rear. We don't typically see slide serrations like that on a lot of our striker-fired pistols. Why not? I don't know. It's the smartest thing ever. Just because that they go front to rear, you can really grab the slide anywhere and rack it. It just feels really good. With it having those wide grooves, your fingers just fit in between there so good. It feels great in your hand. You can kind of just grab the slide anywhere and be able to rack it, whether you have just bare hands, gloves. So smart. I don't know why other manufacturers have not caught on to that. You know, when you compare this to the Glocks and the SIGs that just have their little serrations in the back that are very fine, that you really have to clamp onto to get a good grip on it. And then not to mention, you know, they only come to about here from the back. So you have a very small window of where you can grab to rack that slide. Otherwise, you're just grabbing a smooth slide, and that's not going to work very well. I think the slide serrations on CZs, SIGs, and Glocks are a complete joke compared to this gun. Once you work with this gun, once you shoot it, you will never go back to some of these other terrible slides that some of these premium manufacturers will make. A lot of people will say that they don't like the slides because they don't like the look of these wide ridges that go from the front of the gun to the rear. You're correct. It doesn't look like your typical striker-fired guns, and there's no bows, ribbons, or sequins and sparkles either. But it is a very smart, practical, useful design. I love to see that. It is just so clever that Beretta did that. It's in the details, guys. Oh, as far as the trigger on this gun, so I think I did say it is a 6-pound trigger. It just has a very firm feeling to it. It feels so good. That break is just so crisp and clean on it. You know, there's just a little bit of play in the trigger right off the bat, and then past that, it is just so smooth. You won't even know you hit the wall. It surprises you every time, which is what you want. That's gonna let you be the most accurate with this gun. So no manual safety. It does just have that trigger safety. Of course, it does have a firing pin block in the gun as well. So, which is going to be visible on this. You can see that little rod that raises up when I press the trigger. And Beretta had done that on their M9 pistol, on the 92 as well. I think they have that on some of their other guns. I think some other manufacturers do that as well. Some people don't like that, and I don't know why it bothers them. I personally like it because then I can look at my gun and see if that firing pin is down. I could throw this at a concrete wall, and there is no physical way that this gun is going to go off unless I press the trigger, which will move that firing pin block up. And of course, the trigger has that trigger safety. Very safe, very good, reliable system. I absolutely love that. And then with the lower part of the gun, obviously being a polymer frame, you know, your trigger guard here is polymer. I do like that it's kind of squared off here. There is just a ton of room for your finger to go in here. So if you have bigger fingers, you had gloves on, you are never going to have a problem getting your finger in there and pressing the trigger and doing what you got to do. I will say that it's kind of cut out here right under the trigger guard. So that just helps your other fingers really get up in there nice and close. You got a really good hold on the gun. This is the best feeling handgun I have ever held, ever shot in my life. Everything about it, from the trigger, the grips. As far as the grips on it, it comes with removable back straps. So when you buy this gun, you'll get 3 back straps. There's a larger one, a medium-sized one, and then a smaller one. And that's gonna kind of affect the size then of your total grip. So whatever works for you. If you have longer fingers, bigger hands, throw that biggest one on there. I am using the medium-sized one right now that just comes on the gun from the factory. And then there is a smaller one as well. Very nice texture on the back of this grip. It's aggressive, it's not too much, but if your hand is sweaty, dirty, wet, this gun is never gonna come out of your hand. On the side, you kind of get a smoother, more fine texture there, so that feels really good, kind of up against the middle of your palm there. Of course, you get your Beretta logo, which looks very pleasing. Up on the front here, you get slight finger grooves that have a very good aggressive texture on them, that same texture that is on the back there. Glock had done finger grooves on their Gen 4s and they got rid of them for the Gen 5. Apparently it wasn't too popular. People didn't like it. Maybe they didn't like the look of it. I do like finger grooves on the gun. I think it's a very smart idea. It just helps your fingers find where they need to be. It gives you more control over the gun, I feel. So I do like those. They're not anything crazy. It's just slight finger grooves there. And overall, the gun feels so good in your hands, guys. Go down to your gun shop, put one of these in your hand, and you will absolutely agree with me on that. The mag release on this is going to be reversible, so if you are left-handed, you can totally switch that out and put it on this side there. So we love to see that from the factory. It's kind of something that will help this gun accommodate everyone. And this has a really good feel to it, guys. It just has a great, crisp, firm feel. And these magazines will rock it out of here. I mean, there's good springs in there. Everything is just top-notch about this gun. We can probably even have it completely sideways and they still come out. Yeah, so I don't think you'll ever have problems with that. It's definitely never given me problems. And they have such a positive feel when they click back in. Some of the best feeling mags for a gun and the mag release that I've ever felt. I will say the magazines on these are just metal and then they're painted black. They're very easy to load. Everything feels super good about them. I will say the bottom, the foot of this magazine is a little bit wider. So if there was any reason that your magazine was stuck in the gun, it gives you something to grab onto that you could strip that magazine if you need to. I guarantee that's probably not gonna happen unless there's a ton of mud and sand and dirt and grime in your gun. But nice gesture there. Not all guns have that, and they definitely should. So Beretta has thought of everything. That's just another example of that. As far as our slide releases on this gun, it's ambidextrous from the factory, so you do have one on either side there. They're small, but they're textured. They work just fine. It doesn't get in the way. I really like them. They have a good feel to it. You definitely don't always get ambidextrous slide releases, so just another thing that Beretta thought of that accommodates all of us shooters very well. You do have your standard Picatinny rail up front, so pretty good length on that. It should fit all of your accessories, your flashlights, laser sights, anything like that. So pretty standard up there, but nice gesture. Of course, we like to see the rails from the factory. And then as I've been handling this gun, you probably saw that there is a little lever right there. We're going to use that in the breakdown of this. And on the other side, there's going to be a small button right there. So the breakdown of this gun is extremely easy. We'll make sure it's decocked and everything. So this button here, you will press that and it's going to push this lever out just a little bit. And when that lever's out, then we can turn it down and then our slide will come right off. This button is very firm. You will need a strong thumb, a couple fingers to press it. Some people have to even like set it on the table and press it. Some people have complained about that. I absolutely think it's a plus though, because if that button were super easy to press, you could literally release your slide when you don't mean to, and that could be detrimental. That could be a very bad thing. So we'll just put a couple fingers on that button, press it very firmly. Okay, we got it. And you can see that our little lever pops out there. So we flick that down then, and then the slide is released. Simple as that, guys. The breakdown's awesome, super easy on this. So we will take our spring out here. The thing that I will note about the spring is the rod on this is extremely thick and durable feeling. Metal rod there, love to see that. They have 2 springs on this. So it's like Beretta was making it and they rolled out the model and they're trying to get approval and they're like, nope, make it twice as good, make it twice as durable. And so they put another spring on here. Great idea. It's just going to ensure that it works great for a really long time. Some people think that that second spring on there looks kind of funny, but all the Beretta APXs look like this. It's not out of the norm. There's nothing wrong with your gun. That is just how those are going to look, and it always functions absolutely like it should. You'll never have a problem from that. As far as the barrel, here's our 4 1/4 inch barrel. Everything is very thick on this, very heavy duty. You know, it kind of has this black color to it there. Very nice finish on it. You know, everything about this gun is just taken to the next level, and you will just see that in all the parts, in all the features. It's fairly obvious. Everything black up there in the top of our slide. Everything seems very heavy duty. No complaints up there. And then on the lower frame here, one thing that I love about this is that the rails that your slide will ride on, you know, the one on the right side there is just one full rail. It goes all the way back. You know, your Glocks and things like that are just gonna have 2 little small ones up here on either side and then 2 small ones on the back. Actually, I can show you on my SD40 quick. So this is my Smith and Wesson SD40, which is essentially an American-made Glock clone. So we'll break this down and I'll show you the slide rails for this. So now look at these 2 guns, this being our Beretta obviously, this is the Smith and Wesson. So you can see on the Smith and Wesson here, our Glock clone, you see there's only just 2 little rails there, and then 2 little rails on the back. That is all that your slide is riding on. Not too much, it's never given me any problems, but this is how all of your Glocks are going to be, okay? Versus the Beretta, having the full rail on one side and almost the full rail on this side, except for the one little spot here. I mean, this is 10 times as heavy duty as your Glocks are going to be. So just a nice gesture, another thing that Beretta thought of that is just going to make this gun withstand the test of time, any torture tests. It's just gonna be a really good shooter no matter the condition, no matter the circumstance. So let's reassemble all of our guns here. Put our barrel back in the Beretta there. All right, get our spring back in here. Nice firm spring there, but gosh, I love it. And then to put this back together, you just throw the slide on there and just pull it back all the way. Your lever pops back up, and that is it. You don't need to do anything else. Super easy, very good systems. Love that rail in there, great internals. And then this gun is supposed to be able to fire 37,500 rounds before any sort of a mishap, problem, malfunction will happen. Once you kind of look at all the internals, the mechanics, the overall feel and quality of the gun, I totally believe that, and there's many people out there who have put this to the test, and this is just, it's always survived, it's always passed. This thing has 10 out of 10 for reliability and quality. I've never seen anyone say anything negative about this gun. Other than the Glock and CZ and SIG owners out there who have never had one of these, never held one, never shot one, and of course nothing to them is ever going to be as good as their CZ, as their SIG, as their Glock. I've seen these go through torture tests where they were thrown in mud, dragged through dirt, covered, buried in sand, snow, frozen in ice, thrown in lakes, And every single time they pull the gun out and it fires absolutely perfectly. They put 100 shots through it right after they torture test it in all these different environments and settings, and the gun has never done anything out of the norm. It always functions perfectly and does exactly what it's going to do. So durability, 10 out of 10. Reliability, 10 out of 10. Overall feel, 10 out of 10. Overall quality, 10 out of 10. Accuracy, 10 out of 10. Practicality, 10 out of 10. In every category, this gun just excels above and beyond all of the competition. When this gun first came out, the MSRP of it was $575. And that was in 2017. 4 years later, in 2021, the MSRP of it now is $399, which I'm frequently seeing people get these for closer to $300. That is insane for the gun you get. If you could get this for even $399 is an absolute steal for this gun. This gun should be worth $700 or $800 based on the quality of this firearm. I mean, you really have a crazy good deal, an excellent value at $399. It's insane. And the reason the price has gone down over the years, my suspicion is that with Beretta being late to the polymer-framed striker-fired handgun market, I think Glock and SIG and CZ, Smith and Wesson, all these other brands are already so established and have so many models already of polymer-framed striker-fired pistols. I think it's been stiff competition for them, and they didn't have quite the sales numbers that they were hoping for. So you have a firearm that 4 years after it was made is $200 almost cheaper than it was. I don't think any other firearm has gone down in price over the last 4 years except for this. So buy this while you can, while it's still at that $399 MSRP, and you might even find it cheaper depending on what your gun shop has them for. This is just an absolute the best gun you can get for the money right now. There's cheaper ones out there that can be a very good firearm as well. That Smith and Wesson SD40, I mean, I love this thing to death, and I got this for $299 back in the day. When I was at the gun shop buying this Beretta, this SD40 is now $389. So for $10 more that you could get the Beretta APX, I do think it's a better gun than this SD40 is. The SD40 has been out much longer than this, and so it has an established track record as being a very good gun, but if you can find one of these Beretta APXs, I think that's totally the way you should go. This is just an amazing pistol any way you look at it. So with this gun being designed for the XM17 competition, you know, designed for the military, this is not just your average self-defense pistol, your target handgun, anything like that. This gun was designed for war. This was designed to be in a soldier's hand on the battlefield. So it really just is a step above everything else out there. Even though this wasn't picked for the military, I think it should have been. I think that was a mistake by the U.S. military, but it could have been for reasons that we don't know. You know, that price point, maybe they wanted a manufacturer with more of an established record in the striker fire polymer frame pistol market. We'll never know. But I do think that this is the best striker fired offering for a handgun you can buy right now. So and then comparing it to all the different premium striker fired brands out there, the Glocks, the SIGs, the CZs, the Smith and Wessons, all those brands, I think the slide serrations are a complete joke on them compared to this gun. This is just so well thought out. The design works 10 times better than any of the other ones. The grips feel way better than any of those other brands. Go hold one, you will agree with me on that. Best feeling trigger I've ever felt on a handgun. It is just such a linear, smooth, great feeling trigger. The weight is right where you want it to be. That 6 pounds just works great for this gun. The sights work really well on this gun. Just the magazines, the release for that. The breakdown of this gun is just very foolproof, very easy. It's always gonna work. You know, you have the reversible magazine release, the ambidextrous slide release, the foot on that magazine that you could grab and strip that mag if you need to, the very spacious trigger guard, the cutout under the trigger guard there that your hand can slide up into. There's just not enough good things to say about this gun, and I didn't even know this gun existed a month ago, and the slide serrations caught my eye when I saw it in the gun shop, and I went home and researched it and was like, holy cow, this is really a premium firearm if there ever was one. After just really getting to know it, it is an amazing gun. You know, I would encourage you guys to go out and get one. This is an excellent military duty service pistol, and it's going to serve you very well for a long time. It's going to do what you need it to, and it's going to do it very well, guys. One of my favorite guns here, you know, I have a lot of different guns, and this one has to be at the top or close. I mean, I love shotguns too, which this isn't even comparable to a shotgun, but as far as a handgun goes, this is definitely my favorite one now, so I'm extremely glad that I found it. You know, I do love the story behind it and how it was designed and how Beretta came up with this gun. I do love that now Beretta is a player in the polymer frame striker fired market. And I think once more people catch on to this gun, it really is going to get a reputation as the best striker fired gun you can buy. And especially at the price point now, that $399, it's not even a decision. Like, buy this over any Glock, any SIG, any of these other brands. You know, it's half the price as some of them, and it is a better gun all around in every which way. And then when you purchase the gun, you get a bunch of little things to go with it. So you get the one magazine, boom, you get an extra one there. Of course you get the pistol, that's kind of essential, right? So there's going to be our two other back straps, the bigger one and then the smaller, lower profile one. Obviously we do have the medium-sized one on it. They're going to give you a nice little Beretta lock. Oh, that looks fancy. You do get a speed loader as well. Never gotten a pistol that came with a speed loader, so that's just going to work really nice. Sometimes these new magazines, you get down to that last 4, 3, 2, 1 bullet, and sometimes it's kind of hard to get it in there. Well, no worries. You got a speed loader now. It makes things quick. It makes things easy. You do get a brush, a little cleaning brush for your pistol as well. Never gotten one of those with a gun. Of course, you do get all your paperwork, your manuals, stuff like that. And this case, you know, it has all the foam in it that you need. Really nice latches on it. Of course, it has a spot that you can lock it as well. Just a nice gesture by Beretta to give you all of that stuff. So very cool, very satisfied with the whole package, with the gun. So without further ado, guys, let's go out to the range. Let's put some rounds through it here and see how it does.
Gonna take you for a ride in my brand new car. My brand new car, my brand new car. Gonna take you for a ride in my brand new car. My brand new car, my brand new car. Gonna show you how the shifter feels, 'cause tonight is the night that we make it real. Gonna take you for a ride in my brand new car. My brand new car, my brand new car. Gonna take you for a ride in my brand new car. Gonna take you for a ride in my brand new car. You better hold on to the leather and thread, 'cause we're gonna take off like a thoroughbred. Gonna take you for a ride in my brand new car. Look at the stars, don't they shine bright? The moon is full, so it's a perfect night. Give me a kiss and close the door, 'cause tonight is the night that we've been waiting for.
want to do a little accuracy test here. I just have a standard piece of paper on this cardboard box with a little 3" by 3" note card there. We're just going to stand 10 yards back and then see how accurate we are.
Gonna take you for a drive in my brand new ride. Gonna take you in my brand new ride, 'cause I got a new car and the keys are inside. I'm gonna take you for a ride in my brand new car.
This pistol is ridiculously accurate. I mean, from 10 yards out to 30 feet, we are in the dead center of a 3" note card. Like, this is a precision handgun if there ever was one.
Make me blue, thinking about the way you walk, to the way you call my name. Another restless night, and you're the one to blame. It always makes me sad to say goodbye at the end of the night. But you'll be on my mind way past the morning light. That's alright, another restless night. Just dream.
Well guys, that's probably gonna wrap up the video. I truly think that this Beretta is the best striker fired full-size pistol you can buy right now. Zero questions in my mind about that. Go out and get yourselves one. You will not regret it. It is truly a weapon of war, straight out of the box, guys. Better than the Glocks, better than any SIG, and I 100% stand by that claim. So, like the video if this helped you out, subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time, have a great night, guys. So, and then these Berettas are just really great. You know, Italian guns are like Italian women. They're just better in every which way.
Okay, so I cannot confirm, but in my dreams, they definitely are.
So, and then when you buy this Beretta, you know, Beretta just hooks you up with so many cool freebies. I mean, it's really awesome, because when you buy a Glock or a SIG, all you get's a couple tampons.
Well, if they don't, they definitely should.
So, and then I do just think that this is a superior gun, so I would encourage you guys to go out and get one and help us make America great again.
Okay, I'm not a huge fan of the guy, but compared to who we got in there now, he's a whole hell of a lot better cheese and rice.
And then the overall length of this gun is just shy of 8 inches, so it is considerably less than what I'm used to working with.
That is not a joke. Those are facts. Facts. I'll show you. I'll show you.
And then a lot of guys do complain that they don't like the slide serrations on the Beretta APX, and I suspect that's because it doesn't quite match their short shorts and flip-flops, but...
No, I'm like 99% sure that's why. Talk to the boots, my man. Talk to the boots.